Hypno Warrior.
This is my Knuckles hat 3D printed custom. I'm going to show you how I 3D scanned the original figure, 3D modeled the hat, 3D printed the pieces, and then painted them to give them a nice finished look just like in the show. I was stoked when the trailer for the Knuckles series came out and saw that he was wearing the hat from the old OVA series. I love how they translated the design into real life. You can find all the links to the products used here in the description. The motorcycle, however, I don't know the origin of. I'm told it came with a Captain America figure. I started by scanning my movie Knuckles figure with a RevoPoint 3D scanner. This gave me the base shape that I would later cut out of the hat to allow it to fit perfectly. Scans with this rarely come out perfectly, but it was enough to get me the shape of the head at least. You can see all the areas that were in shadow didn't really get scanned very well, but everything that was up at the top of the head that I did need to cut out was nice and bright, so it picked it up well. In Maya, I started with a cylinder and then extruded it to make it more hat-shaped. Quick shout out to Pro Tyler, one of our community members, who's learning to use Maya right now, and you should too. It's a lot of fun and lots of power. If you're interested in some video tutorials, let me know in the description. I used a bend deformer tool to get the brim of the hat to angle up a bit. Then I modeled out the star icons at the front of the hat using more cylinders. Then I cut out a basic shape in the center. This is before cutting out the head, just to give it more volume inside. I took it into ZBrush, and I took extra care to give the details of the threads around the belt of the hat. These are very small in the final print, but they are noticeable. I then masked off a noisy pattern on the surface and sculpted through the brighter areas to give a leathery texture. This lets me make neat highlights on the rough surface using dry brushing. I exaggerate all these details to make sure they come out well in the small print. Lastly, I merged all the parts together and then subtracted the shape of the 3D scan from the entire model. After some work repairing it, it was ready to print. I planned to do a giveaway and sell these on my Etsy shop, so I put a whole batch to print on my Elegoo Saturn. I like seeing the slice graphics of how it's going to print, and they came out pretty well. Then it was the usual process of breaking them off the plate, cleaning off all the resin with isopropyl alcohol, and removing the supports. The toothbrush helps get out all the little bits of resin inside of the cracks and crevices. Then I use this air gun to blow off all of the remaining alcohol and then cured it in my curing machine. It fits pretty good. Then it was time to give the hats away. And the next winner is gonna be Zork the Dork. Congratulations, Zork. But that stream was so fun that I ended up giving away a lot more than I intended. I just feel so bad for YBZ. It's a shame, YBZ, that you sat through all of this and you didn't get a hat. Oh, I accidentally clicked the screen again. All right, well, hey, look at that. Everybody who came in won. Ha ha ha. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all you. And I'm glad that everybody was able to get one. Those who stuck around during that stream got to see me start work on my Shadow Lancelot figure, but that is a video for a different day. The Renaissance Fair with us. Oh, that's so nice. Just a little bit. Now you're ready for battle. And speaking of other videos, I've got a huge backlog of projects that are practically done and just need editing, so those are going to be coming out throughout the summer. Hit that subscribe button. For painting, I started with a brush-on black primer. At this time I was using a lot of brush-on primers, but I've since moved to doing more spray painting, specifically with Army Painter Gray. Then I did a layer of brown across the entire thing. You can actually see in the background a work in progress of the Egg Pawn Samurai, another future video. Then I went around the belt with some dark blue. You can barely see it because my hand is usually in the way. I moved my camera to a better spot and you can see a little bit better the details that I'm painting on the blue. Then I add some red in between the parts of the star that are intersecting with the cylinder. It's a very small area to paint and doesn't show much at the end. As you can see here, it looks very red, but once it gets gold covered on top of it, only a few areas are left red. It does give it some nice layering and depth though. And then the painting was finished. After that I took it outside for some sealant. This is a matte sealant, not gloss. Again, link is in the description. You'll be able to find everything that I work with on my website. But he needed a motorcycle. I wanted to show this clip from Sonic Force's Speed Battle because it's one of my favorite attacks in the game. He jumps in on his motorcycle and completely stops before boosting ahead. It's really cool. So my nephew actually gave me this Captain America bike that seemed the perfect size for Knuckles. I primed it and then gave it a silver color on the front. And then some yellow for the light as well. And I used some red to create the base of the flame texture. I painted the whole thing in red to get exactly the shape that I wanted. Making it nice and thick, really taking my time to make sure that it had the shape that I want. And then once that red was laid down but not dry yet, I went in with some yellow, and while the paint was very wet, I would mix it all together and blend it. This is a really neat technique for giving kind of a gradient across things with a brush. You can see it turned out really nice, giving that kind of these streaks in the paint that I'm finding very pleasing. Then I masked it off with some masking tape, just the light and the flame area. And I also sprayed that with gloss sealant. I don't have video of this, but I also sealed the rest of it with the opposite masking with a matte sealer. Like the silver stuck pretty strongly to the tape, and then that's ripping the primer off. It's not too bad just to go back over it with the silver. Come on. That we wanted. Oh yeah, that does look nice, having that nice different texture to it. Alright, cool. Front wheelie. Front wheelie. I'm really happy with the final result. It's a simple custom, just having a hat and a motorcycle. But it's great that I have something to represent the Knuckles series, which I really did very much enjoy. And here you can see the hats on some other figures. It's fun to mix things up. This is my Etsy page where I sell multiple products, including the Knuckles hat. I do both painted and unpainted. And here are some pictures from happy customers. Thank you to everybody who watched the giveaway. We got Average Alien, The Deputy, Supersonic 2, Victini Games, Some Guy, Alvin Monk, Stop Motion YouTube, Inga, Pro Tyler, Zork the Dork, Alpha 64, YBZ, and The Man VHS.